What up, world? Welcome to another episode of RMT. That's Real Man Talk. It's your boy, Stan the Man, coming to you with another great conversation piece on today. And before we even get started, I want to thank you for tuning in with me on RMT. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. On today, we want to talk about fear. It's part two. It's part two of talking about fear. Now, last time we talked about false evidence appearing real on the last episode. If you haven't checked that out, go down a couple episodes, click it, listen to it, and then come back to this one. But on today, I got another acronym that I came up with to talk about fear and the different things that we go through in different phases. And that's feeling empty, always running. Feeling empty, always running. And first off, I want to get to the feeling empty part. Feeling empty is when we don't fill ourselves with the things that we need in order to accomplish the stuff that we want to accomplish. So when you go out and you set your goals and the stuff you want to do in life, we don't go out and get the proper things that we need to fill ourselves in order to accomplish the goals that we want to go, the goals that we want to accomplish, or the things that we want to do. A lot of times we go out on empty, purely just on adrenaline, motivation, and we just going out there and just doing our thing, which is good. But it's good to come up with some type of game plan before you go out there and just tackle. Now, is it wrong to just have the enthusiasm and go out there and do it? No, it's nothing wrong with that. But after you have the enthusiasm to start something and you start to get the ball rolling and start understanding how things work, it's good to come up with a game plan on how you're going to organize it or what level that you want to take it to once you get into whatever it is that you want to get into. And one thing that I noticed that even when you empty and you don't accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, we try to run away from what we said that we was going to do, and we didn't do it, and we might feel embarrassed because we didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish. So we start to run. And some people, we run away just from the problem, and we might run to substance. We might want to smoke some weed. We might want to drink. Some people might use heavier drugs. Some people might have a porn addiction that they might want to watch porn or just be with several women. You know, you might lead yourself into an addiction. I'm going to read this right here first before I get into my next little pieces. It's coming from 2 Timothy 1:7. It says, "For God gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of peace and love and of a sound mind." Read that again. 2 Timothy 1:7. "For God gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power and in love and of a sound mind." So we never was given that spirit of fear, but sometimes it overwhelms us when we come to something that we think we not worthy of, or we just simply think that we can't accomplish. We just simply think we can't accomplish, but that's never been something that's been given to us. That's something that we seek within our own mind. And is failure real? Yes. Is hurting yourself real? Is going bankrupt real? All the things that we might fear, is those things real? Yes, but a lot of times it's not reality if you never tried. If you never tried, you don't know what your reality might be. And certain people lock into fear and never want to move away. They never want to get out of their comfort zone and move to the next level because they fear of what's going to be on the other side. And we fear what we're going to lose, not what we're going to gain, because the things that we already have, we know that we have those things and we feel like they're not going anywhere. We think that we got this locked in. This situation that I'm in is never going to change. So why do I need to step out on faith to go accomplish something or to seek something that I know nothing about? Why should I go in uncharted territory in order to look at something that or find something that I don't know nothing about. So it's easy for us to stay within our comfort zone and stay within the people that we love, the people that we cherish, and sometimes the people that's not helping us grow. We can be around a toxic environment that's keeping us from accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish, but we are afraid of losing our friends. Some of my friends that have those habits just say, I love my friends to death, but once I stopped drinking, I couldn't hang around the friends that was drinking anymore. Not that I had anything against them, just at the time, my willpower was not strong enough at that time to go around them and not drink. So that part of my life I wanted to change, so I couldn't go around them. But me not going around them, I feared that I might not be friends with them no more. We might not be cool on the level that we used to be cool on, because now we don't have that drinking bond together. So now I'm out here, what new friends I'm gonna have? Because the most of the friends that I had, all we did was drink with each other. So these other hobbies that I have, and these not only um, not only these other hobbies that I have, but these new goals and the new discipline that I have, is they're gonna fit in with the old friends. See, some of us are afraid to even move from a job, or we're afraid to move up in a job, or we're afraid to start our own business. We're afraid to do those things because, number one, moving up in a job, you might be comfortable in the position that you're in. You might like the work that you're doing. And if you do, it's nothing wrong. You don't have to move up, but if you mad every day when you come from work, if you upset within that situation, it might be time for you to move on. Might be time for you to pray and see, okay, well, this what God want me to do is move on in this next level and do this, or it's time for me to move up and be a supervisor or whatever the case might be. If that's something that you want, if that's one of your desires and that's what God wants for your life, yes. But I would say this is that I think the biggest part of us, the biggest part of fear is that we are afraid of the person that we might become. You might not notice that person in the mirror anymore. It ain't got nothing to do with the people that's around you. It sometimes be the fact that you as an individual, you just afraid to become a better version of you. You like who you are. You like the weight that you are. You like the way that you look. You like the money that you making. You just like the situation that you're in right now. And I hate to say it, like sometimes God might be calling us to do something greater than ourselves, and we might be afraid to do it. There's so many people out there that passed away that should have wrote a book, or should have wrote a movie, or should have been a speaker, or should accomplish more things that they did in their life. Not to say that they didn't have a great life, but fear kind of stopped them from reaching their full potential. It can grip us and keep people in situations that they just comfortable in. You can be in a relationship that's terrible. It can be a terrible relationship, but because you're comfortable there, you don't want to move out of there. You stay with that person because you're comfortable with them. You don't want to, say you want to build your business, or you want to do your podcast. Not pick on myself, but you want to build your podcast, but you might be watching a series on Netflix. I mean, that's me. You want to build your podcast, but you on social media. Hey, that's me. So don't think if I get on here and I'm speaking and I'm just talking about, oh, well, you need to do this, you need to do this. Nah, we do. because I'm part of the we. So a lot of times I come on here talking, I'm not talking from trying to be self-righteous. I'm talking from a perspective of either I done went through it, going through it, or going to go through it, So that's the perspective that I speak of, man. He give us power. And I got right here, I'm going to read a definition of power. They got different definitions, but I like this one right here. It says, a person or thing having great influence, force, or authority. I like that. A person or thing having great influence, force, or authority. And we have that authority over our life. We have that influence over our life in order to change it. Not overnight, because you didn't get those bad habits. You didn't get to where you at overnight. It took time to get where you at. So in order for you to change and move in another direction, it's still going to take time. But you can't let fear stop you from changing. It's terrifying at times. Yeah, I get that. I understand all that. It's hard at times. I get all that. But also, he gave in love and a sound mind. So you have love and you have a sound mind. And I think a lot of us just take that for granted. Like, not only will that fear grip us of passing away, a lot of people got a fear of dying. They live every day so careful because they don't live every day like it's going to be their last day. They live every day thinking it's going to be their last day. That's a big difference. And let me explain that. Because if I'm living every day like it's my last day, that means I'm putting every single thing within my power to accomplish what I need to accomplish within that day. I'm giving my all to it. I'm giving my all into that day. And certain people get up in fear of like, oh man, this might be my last one. Oh man, I don't know if I got this. Some people don't want to pass away because they don't have their affairs in order. Might not have their insurance policy, might not have things together like you want to. And so that right there can bring about a fear of I don't want to pass away because I don't have my house in order. But today is a day that you can change all that. You can go check on your insurance policy to get everything up to date. You can start changing life from this point on. And another thing that I know I used to battle with just being timid and not want to speak out. And a lot of people take from us, and not just financially, but emotionally. They take from us because we fear speaking out because we think it's going to be a loss of something. And we end up losing out anyway. We cannot speak out of somebody just being emotional, abusive to us. Somebody that have been emotional, abusive, or physically abusive to us. And we be afraid to speak out or afraid to to stand up for ourselves and get ourselves out of that situation. Some people have lost their lives behind it. Some people still live in fear that even after they come out of that situation, they still working when they could have did it earlier and been able to get out of it. But because of that fear gripped them, they weren't able to do it because they probably was afraid of the person or the situation. We can be given the green light by God to do different things in our life, and we freeze up because of us. We freeze up because of us. It's not anything, it ain't got nothing to do with God. It got everything to do with us. It got everything to do with us. Everything might be lining up for you. It might not be perfect, but it's lining up in a way where you can see that you are accomplishing some things. You study building a little bit more. You study building a little bit more. and you get scared because you never been at this level. So since you never been at this level, I remember my first time ever flying, and I was probably, let me see, I was probably in my 20s when I first took my first flight. I was in my 20s, so I never been on a plane before. I never flew, never been in the airport. So this was my first flight, and so the within the time frame, what it was within the time frame, I was going to my homeboy wedding, and so the time frame that it was set up, if I would have drove, I probably would have been late. So flying was the best way to do it because it was gonna save me on time. And so I could have drove and been late to the wedding, but I was like, man, I'm gonna fly. They give me time to get there, get settled, be at the practices and everything, prior to the wedding. So I was like, I had a choice to make. So I decided to hop on a plane, even though that's something that I never done before. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and hop on this plane, go save me a little time and everything. So I hopped on that plane, went on, was able to go to the wedding, beautiful wedding. We did the practices, did everything, and it was a beautiful thing. But if I would have took and I would have drove, and that would have cut down on my experience. And we cut down on our experience because we want to do the way that we're comfortable with doing things, because we're scared to try another way. And it's just like flying now. I don't like flying like that. I'm okay with it because it saved me time. But if I would have never flew that one time, I would have still had that, well, I got to drive very well. So some of the things that I have experienced in life, I would have never been able to experience it because I would have let that fear grip me from having that experience because I'm comfortable with where I'm at. So I hope that you can get out your comfort zone, not just financially, not just emotionally, but get out of your comfort zone just trying different things that it might be uncomfortable with to you, and it might be something that you fear. Don't get me wrong. But once you try it might not be as bad as you think. Then once you try, you might like it because it might free up some time. Or you might find that you have a hidden talent that you knew nothing about, because you tried something that you feared, but now you done figured out, oh, I got a whole nother skill that you never knew anything about. But if you continue to fear trying something new, you'll never know, I got this talent. You'll never know, oh, I can do this. You never know, well, I can speak, I can run a business, I can lose this weight, I can do all these things that I thought I couldn't because I let fear grip me. And then when you start doing those things, you'll be like, man, I wish I would have tried it earlier. I wish I would have tried it earlier, because he didn't give me the spirit of fear. I got power and I love and I got a sound mind. And I should have tried these things earlier. But even if you tried them late and you're doing it now, just continue to build off that momentum that you have. Don't let fear stop you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish. Don't let fear stop you from being who you want to be. And don't let fear stop you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. And if y'all want to talk to us after this, Instagram, Facebook, Stanley Nash, like, comment, subscribe, and also share this and send it to somebody that you think that it'll help. All right. Appreciate y'all. Peace.